Hello, and welcome to another brief history of heaven, mio pequeno historia do céu. One thing I like about this situation we're in, where I'm living, it's very, very quiet. If you sit out in the garden, you don't hear anything but birds and roosters, mourning doves. Yeah, once in a while a car, but it's just a lot of dogs. But it's just really quiet, and I love that. Just briefly, it's time to become a social critic. And in order to do that, you have to read around several domains: history, science, sociology, psychology. Yeah, it's a heavy burden. But before you can criticize politics, you have to kind of understand how it works a bit. Or capitalism, you have to understand what capitalism is. Read books by Thomas Piketty and others. I know it's tough. What happens these days is you have the majority of people who parrot mindlessly whatever they've learned through their life, you know. This myth about that, this other myth about something else. And then they wonder why these Groundhog Day crises never end. Who wants to go back to normal? Only people who don't have an imagination. And to have an imagination, you need to be unbounded by narrow ideological beliefs and habits. You have to free yourself from that by looking into other things with an open mind and being a bit creative. So instead of defending a position that's dear to you because you've held it for so long, you could look into other things. If you want to be a biblical critic, you know, you have to read the Bible. And if you want to be a social critic, you have to know a little something about how societies work, culture, anything, right? Music critic, film critic. Anyway, that's what I'm hoping people will do now, right? Most people aren't going to sit home in their mansions catching up on reading. They're panicking about how to pay the bills. And the players, the people at the top who control the game with their wealth and power, are figuring out how to rob us, how to create more money and control more money. The system sucks, man. If you don't know that by now, you really need to work a little bit harder at understanding how the world works. Yeah, people are out of poverty, but they become mindless, empty-headed consumers, and what arises from that is the sixth extinction. Yes, it's happening. Destruction of the oceans. Yeah, it's happening. Climate change. But you go to the mall or you buy something that you can use for social signaling and to look cool, whatever your pride's in. But remember, your progeny, your legacy will be that your children die violent deaths or starve to death. And it doesn't have to be that way. We could utilize our technology and data and information systems in a better way, but people would have to weigh in, which means people would have to know how these things work. So get to work figuring that out. Use your imagination, open your minds, and let's see what comes next. Take good care. Bye.